Check specs on your Chromebook. I'm Huey Poplock.
There is a way to find out what the specifications are for Chromebooks. So how can you get the specs of your Chromebook? Some of us in user groups are inquisitive and want to know that kind of information. Or sometimes we need to have that information from you if it's your Chromebook, if you're looking for some help, either hardware or software wise. If you're looking for a full spec overview of your entire system, you can do that from the Chrome browser. Open it and type this: Chrome://system in the browser. And when you do, it's going to go to About System and it's going to go find a bunch of information. The screen will display literally everything about your Chromebook in a long list of more or less randomly ordered information. However, this tool is aimed squarely at the major Linux techies. Unless you know precisely what you're looking for, it can be a little overwhelming, which is a polite way to say useless. And so we're going to take a look at a couple other things, but let's look at this. Obviously, you can see that there are some things here that don't make sense to us, and it says expand, and if we expand it, this is in more than the average person wants to know or can understand. But any of these that you expand, you'll see lots of information that's pretty useless to most of us. And so this wouldn't be the way to go to get information about a Chromebook. But there are some Chrome Web Store applications. Thankfully, there are two apps available on the Chrome Web Store that provide a vastly more useful and readable version of this information. The apps are called COG, C-O-G, and System, and every Chromebook owner should have both. Note that COG and System will work on non-Chromebooks too. They're just really great system information apps for the Chromebook. So let's take a look at COG first. I have already gone to the web store and put it on my system, so I can find it, and it looks like this. And so we're going to click on it, and this is COG. The COG application was developed by a guy who works for Google, and it is a very powerful and easy to use app. COG breaks out your system information into different categories, providing charts where possible to help you understand the data. Among other things, you can use COG to view the operating system. You'll see it here with the version, the platform, which is Linux, in case you didn't realize it, the CPU, the architecture, and it also shows you the CPU usage live, and the memory usage, and that's down here, and how much memory you have, and the battery status and level. Now currently my battery is charging. If I unplug it while we're doing this, you'll see that it's saying discharging, and it'll get, sooner or later it'll come up and tell you how much time is probably left, and it's usually not very accurate. For some reason or another, this computer never is accurate on the timing. So I just plugged it back in and it changes to charging. It also tells you your primary language of your Chromebook and any plugins that you have in your Chromebook. The application is easy and clear to understand with a very simple user interface. The other application is called System, and I have it right here. First thing it comes up, it says something here, and I have to just hit cancel and it goes away. So System is an application for Chrome that provides the same information as COG, but breaks it up in an even more user-friendly way. The left-hand side of the app breaks the data into several categories: general, storage, display, network, media galleries, current location, and app settings. This makes it easier to drill down into what you're looking for. Let's take a look at each one of those. Here's the general. It gives you that it's i3 Intel. There's 4 processors. There's 4 gigabytes of memory. And I'm using 3.47 of it, or 86% of the memory. And it gives a capacity. And then the operating system is the Chrome OS. And the fact that we're online and the machine status is available. Under storage, I have 2 drives. One is a removable. It's an SD card. It's I think they call it 125 gigabytes. This one shows it 134. And the drive that's built into the SSD that's built into the Chromebook is also 125, and they rated it 116 gigabytes. Under display, it shows that we have one display and it's built in. It has a native resolution of 1536 by 864. Under network, it shows some network addresses that I'm in. Media galleries, I don't have any. Current location, it actually gives me the latitude and longitude where I'm sitting right this moment. And then the app settings, send anonymous usage data, and I have no idea what that is. This makes it easier to drill down to what you're looking for within this application. These 2 applications give you the system information you need without having to hunt all over your Chromebook for the information you want to know about your Chromebook and the Chrome OS. So that's cog and system. You know your Chromebook runs at a certain gigahertz, has so many gigabytes of RAM, and has a certain CPU in it. But what does that really mean? Is there a way to directly measure the performance of your Chromebook versus other Chromebooks or even other machines and get a fair assessment of its performance? Well, as it happens, I read an article that says there is. It's a benchmark called Speedometer. It's from a website, browserbench.org. And it has the advantage of measuring things other than just the speed of a JavaScript engine on a computer. Let's take a look. Once you get to browserbench.org, you want to click on Speedometer. Let's look to see what about Speedometer is. Tests the browser's web app responsiveness by timing simulated user interactions. You can read that on your own. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. So let's take a look at Speedometer. I'm going to start the test, and then I'm going to speed ahead to the end of towards the end of the test, because it does take several minutes, and you don't need to sit here and watch it do the test. And we have a final score of 24.7. Now we ran this test while recording using Screencast-O-Matic. We're going to do a test without recording it, and I will show you the results with a screenshot.
When I reran the test without recording, it came up 56.1. Here are the results from 3 different devices. 18.8 is an older iPad Air. The 56.1 is my Chromebook. And the 66.64 is my NUC, which has 64 gigabytes of RAM and has a 10th generation i7 chip in it.
Let's see how to show Chromebooks process memory, CPU, and network usage. On a regular PC, you might use an app like Task Manager to see how much memory, CPU, or network bandwidth an app is using. On a Chromebook, you'll need to use the Chromebook Task Manager. What you do is you open up Google Chrome, look at the three-dot menu up here at the top, click on it, go to More Tools, click on it, then you want to come down here to Task Manager. And there's a Task Manager. Very similar to what you have on a PC, showing all of the things that are running. And you'll notice as I move up the screen, or down the screen, however you want to look at it, there's a lot of information there. And you can end any of the processes. I don't suggest you do that unless you know what you're doing or if there's a problem with one of the tasks. But you can sort obviously by the memory footprint, or we can sort by the CPU usage. So you can see what's using a lot of CPU. I'm just using the computer itself, the Chromebook computer. But as I said, you can sort by any of these columns, and you can also sort by the tasks and make them alphabetical as well. And that is the Task Manager on a Chromebook.